You guys are going to do some mystery science now. Guess what? We are going to read. We're going to learn about why is it so hard for firefighters to put out wildfires, and Miss Schlapp has no idea, so she's going to learn too. Just figured I'd call her out. She just told me that she didn't know anything. She must know if she has background on it. She knows nothing, so it's okay. Now you're put on the spot.
But you know what? Most of us probably don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know why either. There's probably just a lot of trees that are dry. Firestorms. I don't know. Firestorms like that. Firestorms.
Hi, it's Doug.
Hi, Doug.
Miss Schlapp.
You say hi, Doug.
I waved. Hi, Doug.
There you go.
Thank you. Jeez Louise.
What do you
Program.
You can see today, it's a sunny day here in California where I live. But just last week, it wasn't so sunny. The sky was filled with smoke. It turns out,
Still looks like it's filled with smoke in the background.
Yeah, it's a little hazy.
there were wildfires burning all over the state. Someone named Najee has a question about wildfires. Let's give him a call now.
That's a cool name.
I was just going to say that. That is a cool name.
Hi, Doug.
Hi, Najee.
Hi, Najee.
Hi,
Hi,
Najee.
Najee.
She got it this time.
I have a question for you. Why is it so hard for firefighters to put out wildfires?
That's a great question. Check out this fire in someone's kitchen. With a fire this size, it's easy to put out just using a fire extinguisher. Or if a fire gets bigger, like this one, firefighters have to use a hose. But some fires aren't so easy to put out. Fires like these sometimes take weeks or even months before they're stopped. When a fire gets out of control like this and burns for miles and miles, that's a wildfire. You can imagine seeing a fire like this. There's just no way that using a fire extinguisher would work.
How would you feel if you're like right in here trying to escape? That would be so scary.
So scary.
A lot of people
Hopefully
do
you
that
would have
too.
already evacuated.
Some people don't like to do that.
Some people will try and stay at home and wet their roofs in their surrounding areas, hoping to,
Well, hopefully people are learning not to do that.
right? Because it adds resources, pulls resources away.
Because it save them later.
Even using a hose isn't going to be enough to put out a fire this size. So what would you do if you had to put out a wildfire?
How would you put out a wildfire? Schlapp?
I would get a train of,
A train of what?
Trina, what?
I would get a pool of trained professionals to come help me.
Okay, you confused me with pool. At first I was like,
Yeah, no,
you're going to get a train of pools and like dump them.
No,
That's what I thought you were going with.
No, I was not going that way. I'm not sure what they use if they're not using water.
Well, they have fire retardant, which they can,
The planes.
drop stuff
Okay.
down. Sometimes I think cutting,
They do
You know-
fire breaks.
yes,
Is that what you're trying to say? I thought you were trying to think of the word.
yes.
That's fire breaks when they will go outside of the fire line
Yeah.
and dig trenches and pull away
Yes,
as
that's what I was going for.
much of the wood and fire and brush so that the fire doesn't have as much fuel.
And I think when they do that, they should put some fire retardant on the area too, because that would be very smart.
Unfortunately, it doesn't prevent the embers that fly,
Exactly.
that jump freeways and things like that.
Yeah. Did you hear about that thing where they have like a grenade thing and they throw it? And it like
Yes.
it
And it,
puts
like,
out fire?
And it like explodes. It
Yeah.
doesn't implode.
They should get those. That would be pretty cool. I know it wouldn't do a lot, but
I-
it would help a little
They
bit.
help in buildings and chemical fires, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah.
Sorry, friends.
Off topic, but that's how we would put out a fire. Hopefully you were thinking the same thing.
Hopefully you
Hopefully you were-
There's no hose or fire extinguisher big enough to put out most wildfires. And to make things harder, it's not like in a city where you can just get.
You've been in Boston?
Mm-hmm. I have.
You've been in Boston.
I used to live there.
Do people really talk like in Boston?
They do.
Yeah, but New York accent's very worse, so.
Water from the nearest fire hydrant. Wildfires usually happen in.
Do people really hate each other for like Yankees Red Sox?
Yes.
Crazy.
Yes.
It's
You
real
have
crazy.
to be a
Yes.
strict
But I'm a
fan.
Mets fan, so I don't fall into that
Oh,
category.
well, your team just got bought
Yeah?
for quite a bit of money,
Oh, okay.
$2 billion something dollars.
Nice.
Steve Cohen something. Steve Cohen or something. Anyway,
Off
there you
My
topic.
go.
dad would be upset that I don't know that.
There you go.
places where there's not a lot of water.
Oh, and Pitcher got hurt too. I think Thor got hurt.
What happened?
I don't know, like someone's leg, hamstring injury.
No.
Here you go. Just in case you call your dad later.
Around.
It's just helping
Firefighters
you through that
sometimes try
conversation.
dropping water using a helicopter. But even so, when a wildfire gets this big,
Oh wait, I'm just kidding.
firefighters just can't put it all out at once. So when a wildfire is burning out of control, firefighters do something really surprising. They actually stop trying to put it out. You see, firefighters know that every fire has a secret weakness.
You know what they should do? Like on barbecues, they just close the lid. They should build a big lid, a dome that
A
just
big
goes over,
dome with this.
and drop it with a couple helicopters. Just like make sure there's no oxygen. But then all the animals and stuff in there would die probably,
Yeah, that would be
unfortunately. So maybe that's not a good idea. Just
not a
kidding.
good idea.
Something that it can't live without. It's fuel, the stuff that it burns. The fuel for a wildfire comes from plants, especially dead trees, dry grass.
This is where we're supposed to be raking and sweeping our forests.
Yeah, but what do we use
Yes,
for
I did
fuel?
read that.
Sorry.
You can't get political on it. Zoom.
Just a statement.
I was gonna ask a different question. Okay, what do we use for fuel? Like what fuels us?
Food. Oh, sorry, friends.
Kid question first, then adults.
Sorry, I got excited that I
So,
knew the answer.
Fires get bigger and stronger by having fuel like wood and dry leaves and stuff like that. We get bigger and stronger by eating.
I definitely get bigger.
Anyway, here we go.
Grass or dry leaves. Firefighters know that fires can't keep going if they don't have enough fuel. So instead of trying to put out a wildfire, they try to steal its fuel. Once a fire burns up all of its fuel, it can't keep going. But how can they steal the fire's fuel? Well, there are a couple ways. One way is that firefighters dig up dirt in lines around the wildfire to get rid of all the fuel that it could burn. They call this a fire line or a fire break, a place where there's no fuel. So a fire can't cross over to burn the next area. But there's one other way firefighters steal a fire's fuel. And this one at first might sound like a terrible idea when you hear it. Firefighters sometimes start fires themselves.
Oh,
They do this in a small area. By starting a small fire that they can control, they burn away all the dead plants and leaves that a big fire, like a wildfire, would use as its fuel. You see, once a wildfire reaches this area, it won't have any fuel to keep burning, and it will burn out. So in summary, firefighters can't put out a huge wildfire all at once. Instead, they steal the wildfire's fuel so that it can't spread any further, and eventually burns out on its own. Firefighters are pretty amazing people, especially since they put themselves in danger to protect us and our homes. That's all for this week's question. Thanks, Najee, for asking it. Before you vote on next week's question, we put together some amazing visuals that we'd love to show you. Take a look inside, or if you don't have time, you can skip straight to voting.
Okay, top 5 things about heat. Surprising things about heat.
Number 5.
Whoa! These things melted just from being in the sun. How hot do you think it was when they melted? I'm gonna guess really.
super really.
I was gonna say 120.
Then why
maybe
did you
you
say
didn't,
it?
well.
You didn't. You didn't.
These pictures were taken when the outside temperature got up to 120 degrees Fahrenheit.
Come on, girlfriend.
Number 4.
What's up, Miss Bev? Come on in.
Come on in. Come on, answer a question.
Okay, I'd be happy to.
It got so hot in this guy's car that he was able to cook breakfast. How else could you cook food without fire? Miss Bev, Miss Bev.
Well, without fire,
I know.
the sun cooks food, sort of.
I know.
No?
Okay.
What do you know, Mr. K?
Microwave.
Oh, shoot. Yes, that's a good one.
But don't put eggs in the microwave ever.
Why?
Really?
Disgusting.
They don't come out tasting
Good,
good, well,
good, yeah.
but
like-
you can do it.
Yeah, I was gonna say you
I thought you
can.
meant it's like gonna blow up or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Like a raw egg. You put it in the microwave.
You can
Yeah.
mix it up.
you can make poached eggs in the
Yeah,
microwave.
you can.
Sorry,
they're
Michelle.
not as good
I'm
though.
They're not
I'm
nearly
gonna
as
comment
good.
on that.
Hey, when you only have a minute, you gotta run out the door.
They also have these little scramblers where you crack an egg and mix it. Jimmy Dean one.
These people.
These people are using the heat from lava to cook steak and hot dogs.
Where do you get lava from?
Looks like it worked well.
Lava.
Maybe
not
they're in
lava.
Hawaii.
They're
They're
Putting metal in it.
Syracuse University Lava Project.
Oh, okay. Well, guess they're not in Hawaii.
They're not. I'm supposed to know why.
Number 3.
To the lava fields. My husband used to work on them.
something strange is going on here. What do you think is happening to all this mud?
Hot water under underneath. Steaming vents from the
Geothermic.
geothermic stuff. I couldn't remember that technical science term. This mud is boiling. Lava is so hot that even if it's deep underground, it can still boil the mud on the surface.
Number 2.
Oh, I wanted to say something before that. Whoopsies. Wait, it's good.
Check out these
Geysers.
geysers.
Oh, I can't
Yep.
wait to go there.
What do you think is causing the water to shoot out like that?
A lot of pressure, probably.
Is that good old faithful?
Yep. I was gonna say in Japan and in a lot of places they have things called onsens, where it's just like hot water. It's a pool of hot water. It's geothermic water heated.
Yeah, like they have them here.
Yeah,
They,
hot springs.
that's the word.
But
hot
in
springs.
Japan they call them onsens.
Never been.
You can like dig your own onsen sometimes.
Mm,
Certain places.
I bet our primitive builders can do that. Underground lava boils water and makes steam. When the pressure is too much, the water erupts like a volcano.
Who said pressure?
Under pressure. Oh, I didn't say the
And now, the last one.
What is it?
Here's one last surprising thing about heat. What do you think will happen when the candles are lit? My mom had these
Bring
when
it down the house. We used to have
I grew up for Christmas.
the wooden thing.
Yeah, I went to Germany and they where they make them, and it's pretty intense.
Oh, that's
It will make it spin.
no, you're supposed to be reading.
Oh. Move. The heat from the fire pushes air up
How
and makes
embarrassing.
the paper spin. Try this with the help of an adult.
It'll
But
spin.
not one of us because we are not adults.
I wasn't reading it.
Hot air balloons work the same way. Fire heats up the air inside the balloon, making the air in the balloons rise up. I was going to make a comment about farts. And I guess I will because I just said farts. So that's why some people say hot air rises. When you fart, it goes
Now,
up.
for the next episode, I
Oh,
reached
there.
into my question jar and picked out 3 questions sent in to me that I'm thinking about answering next. When this video is done playing,
Okay, I pulled 3. Yeah, he did. Okay, what was the earliest paper money?
No.
How do phones work? Who invented
We
toothpaste?
did this both the other day.
I like the phone one. What do you like?
I like the toothpaste.
Phones.
Bev,
Yes, sir.
earliest paper money? How do phones work or invented toothpaste? Who invented toothpaste?
I like money.
We all like
Oh.
money.
I guess
I don't know
Oh.
the answer to that though. The toothpaste? No.
How do phones work, Miss Bev?
That would be interesting, but it's still like money.
Well, guys, that was it for this week, and maybe we'll answer one of those questions next
Bye,
week.
guys.
See you later.